Hello, Star Wars fans. Mando Mitchy back, and today I'm going to take a moment and just review 2025 from a collecting standpoint. Personally, I've had a good year. Things are going good. Career, family, things in the church, community, things that I've involved with. Man, it's going good. And one of the things that I'm really happy with is the way that my hobby in light of Star Wars collecting has went this year. I am pretty new to collecting, as a lifelong fan, and just got into this in the last couple of years. And man, I had a stellar year collecting. I just, as I'm looking back, it's just amazing to me. So as I review, I'm not going to do like my top 10 figures. I think there's a lot of great channels and great people that review those things, and they do a wonderful job. I tried that out when I started the channel. That's not me. So, but what I did want to mention is if I had to pick one, I voted on Boss Bounty's poll, and the one that I did, and I voted for this guy, the Imperial Snow Trooper, Hoth Battle Gear. One of my favorite figures from my childhood. The first diorama I built when I got into collecting was the Battle of Hoth. And this guy wasn't available. I was picking up Saga and Power of the Force 2, and man, I had some vintage Kenner snowtroopers. I was getting whatever I could find, and man, they weren't readily available, and they were all pretty good, but nothing like this. Man, I just can't say enough about how great an action figure this guy is. It was just such a blessing to get him, and to put him in my Hoth display. I don't remember how many I bought now, but I did leave some of my other ones up here. I think they fill in nicely. But yeah, he's just a menacing, cool action figure, and he was cool in Empire Strikes Back, and he's cool now. And I'm excited. He's going to be in the Snowtroopers, going to be in the Mando and Grogu movie that's coming up. And so I would think to say that if I had a next figure, I might put the Snowtrooper Commander. I love this guy too. I'm so happy they announced we're getting that guy, General Veers, coming up. I've got him pre-ordered. I'm excited about updating him to a little better, more highly articulated figure. So yeah, this would be my figure of the year for sure. And I was trying to pick a highlight, something that really stood out to me, and there were so many things that stood out. So I think as far as Grail items go, and as I set out to start collecting, if I had to pick one, I think from my childhood and my collecting, and as I got back in, and I'm going to share my vintage Kenner collection here in a minute. But I think that as far as what really got me like pumped to do was restoring these two guys and going through this. And if you didn't watch this video, it's on my channel. It's one of my favorite things. I love it. I'm going to be actually doing some shorts and some updates as we have some other video figures actually that I need to put my Obi-Wan Kenobi up by the tractor beam, and and I'm thinking about in the future probably taking one of these home, displaying it with my vintage Kenner figures, probably selling this second one, and hoping, that's when I'm thinking maybe they do a HasLab, or I build maybe my own enormous Death Star playset and put in this area. But I would say this would be Grail number one in review. I'm so happy that I got this. And then I think number two, I'm going to pan over here to this big ship right here. Yeah, it got blown up in Mandalorian Season 2, and it's gone. It looks like it's coming back in the Mando versus Grogu movie. We don't know if it's like a flashback, or he get a new Razor Crest or whatever, but I wanted one of these so bad. I wasn't collecting during this project funding, and didn't know if it would fit my price range this year. And man, I found one. It was unboxed and had everything with it, though. So I was able to get that for a price that I just couldn't believe. So that was another big thing. So, and I had in mind, so I wanted to build out the Mandoverse this year, and I did. I've got a few other things that I haven't unboxed yet, and I think I need to get that artillery trooper and the stormtrooper with like the yellow markings in that. But I think pretty much I've got everything else that I intend on getting. Now I am 3D printing a sail barge right now. It's almost done. It's turned out magnificent, and it's going to sit up here on this credenza. So this Mandoverse is getting ready to get relocated. So I'm still figuring that out. I've got some ideas, but we'll get there. But so I would say the Death Star and the Razor Crest. You know, I just finished Jabba's Palace. If you didn't see that playlist, really cool experience. Love that. Just did that custom Mosa Benid character. I've got some other customs getting ready to do, but that was cool. Love that this year. Redid the Battle of Hoth for the second time. Actually, my office changed, and I had that mounted on a different shelf. Had to redo it, upscale. Went to the big AT-AT and changed some things around. So that was a lot of fun as well. Just some things that aren't unboxed, and all this shelf unit is just a blank canvas right now. Stuff I'm getting ready to work on. So yeah. So year in review, so good. And let me show you my vintage Kenner right now and talk a little about that. That's what really took me for surprise as I was collecting. So let's take a look at that. That's in my room at home, and let's segue to that, and then I'll come back and finish up kind of my thoughts for 26. So this is part of the collection I never anticipated. Never set out to be a vintage Kenner collector. And I've often joked that I wasn't looking for these guys, they were looking for me, because before I knew it, I had 10 of the first 12 just in lots and things that I'd picked up collecting modern and doing some other things that I was doing. And so I decided to get the final of the 12, and I thought I'll just stop there. And then before I knew it, I almost had all the first 20. So I went ahead and got those. And so then I thought, oh, I'll see. And I kind of did a roll call into Empire, which was maybe my favorite movie. I don't know. And man, I only needed a couple. So I thought, oh, I'll start looking. I went to some toy shows and really was able to pick that up pretty quickly and complete that run. And you will see that not everybody has Weapon Jet. I've got some work to do. I just wanted to start out with a version of a nice version of each figure, and I was able to do that. And then, as far as Jedi goes, I had very little for Return of the Jedi, and a person I worked with told me about a local auction that was happening, and they let me come in and preview the stuff, and this C-3PO case was full of Return of the Jedi figures. And I went from having almost no Jedi to almost all the Jedi. I'm down to 2 figures. I need the AT-ST driver and Endor Han. And you can see, like, I've got a rough helmet for Leia Bouche. I don't have anything for Endor Leia. So there's, they're not all great versions, but some of these versions are magnificent, pristine. So yeah, so this is something that really kind of took me by surprise, and I'll be honest with you, I'm hooked on it. Man, I'm a modern collector, but I am no doubt a vintage Kenner collector and becoming an enthusiast, I would say. So just looking at some things that I've got, I was able to get that Sandcrawler in a lot. I got it working, and I do not have the remote, and that is a reproduction door on it right now. The other original door, the hinge was broke, so you can see the color's just off a little bit, but so happy to have that thing. It is complete otherwise, other than the remote. So stickers are still on it. Really, really nice. Rancor, just picked this up, complete with the box. Box is a little rough, but glad to have that. Got the just the other day the Land of the Jawas playset boxed, complete. Man, it is beautiful. I'm so glad to have that. This shuttle I bought in that auction I told you, I had the Saga, like the 02 or 06 shuttle with all the weathering, and I had that in my collection, and it was complete and it was very nice, and I was able to pick this up. And so this is the original 1984. The wings are a little jacked up. I don't know if the electronics work. Missing a few pieces, but I was able to score some original parts. So I got one more front gun that I need to get, but it will be complete and original, and I'll make sure everything works before I'm done. So glad to have gotten that. The other day I was able to get this Empire case. So I have the Star Wars case and the Empire case. One of the Empire cases. I guess I'd like to have that second one. I saw there is a variant on that. But the Return of the Jedi, that's the one that, ooh, man, would love that. So, yeah, so this is just a shelf I had. This is not my final display. This is just something for me to admire these things on right now. I've got plans for a nice display with the pill color backs and, you know, just some really cool stuff. So I'm going to build that. It's going to be a custom thing. And so this is just that X-Wing I had restored last year. Picked up the Jabba's, the Jabba playset. The Power of the Force 1 figures. So here's a few. The Yak Face is that's a retro figure. I don't not have him. I want to, but I don't have him yet. And the Barada is that's a stand solo. So I thought, you know, I want to get a Kenner version of those. But as I do dioramas and displays, those originals will be in my display case. We'll need figures to put on my sand skiff and then my palace and things like that. So these guys are going to work, and they're just there for now. Need some accessories for the Ewoks still. We're working on that. So yeah, so there's 5 of those 17 and more to come. Really was able to get a nice land speeder, and this cantina is really nice. I'm thankful to have that as well. So yeah, this is definitely a work in progress. These are just some of my other things here, but yeah, this is where my modern stuff is in my office, other than my Death Stars and my Star Destroyer. I think is there still, but this is where I keep the old stuff and the stuff from my childhood. So yep, glad to have this. And so yeah, this coming year, looking forward to that. I want to complete the first 3 runs, get those 79, and start working toward. I want original weapons, OEM accessories, and all that. And I have that in part already, but I want to move forward in that realm. Would like to get a remote for this. Would like to start making some progress on this. I've bid on some of these guys, and I've kind of got a number in mind that I won't go over, and I've not been able to get any. So either my number's going to have to increase, or I'm going to have to get lucky. So yeah, so I'm going to start on the display case. You know, again, some of the play sets that I'm interested in, and just kind of keep filling these out. And ultimately, in the next couple of years, I'm going to have a nice display in a Star Wars room here in my home, just with my Kenner action figures and some of the, you know, the fan made stuff and things like that, all in that retro Kenner style. So I'm going to keep the sets separate and keep all my modern stuff at work and this stuff here. So yep, that's what I've got here. And there's one other thing I've got here too that's a plan for next year. I was not actively collecting when this funding crowdfund project was happening, so I didn't order the cantina. I would have. I ordered the gunship this year, and you know, I love the HasLab projects. I bought the Razor Crest, and you know, I'm making my own sail barge. I would love to have had that. If I could have had the choice, I would have done that for sure. So I was able to buy this. Now this is no figures, it's just the play set. So I do have a spot, and you know, on my shelf beside my Jabba's Palace. And yeah, I'm excited. I love one of my favorite scenes from childhood. So I'm excited to get started on this. So in 2026, the cantina is going to be one of my priorities. So 2026, I've got, as I mentioned, this big guy right here. That is almost finished. I am waiting on some paint, some weathering things to do some airbrushing and finish this up. But I need to fill that out. I've not got everything I need, and some of it's not easily obtained. So I've got to budget in staffing the sail barge, because a lot of what I staffed in this diorama goes on the barge too, and I don't want to rob one to outfit the other. I want them both to look good. So I've got that, and I showed you the cantina. That's going to go in this area right here. I don't know how it's going to fit. I didn't build this shelf with the cantina in mind. I didn't have it. I wasn't collecting when that funded. But I've got an idea. I think we'll make the best of that, and I won't have the coolest display like some of you guys that I've seen do that, because I just don't have the area. I don't have the real estate to give that up. So that's on the docket. So the cantina, outfitting the sail barge, moving the Mandoverse. I still have in mind that I want to do an Echo Base diorama, like a shelf diorama. Just with, I picked up a number of those things, the characters and the back to tank and that, and I just want to build that out. I love that scene. I won't really be able to have the hangar bay and that. I don't have the room. But that's on my list. That's coming. I don't know, I thought I'd have it done by now, but I got, you know how life goes. You get sidetracked and you start building palaces and sail barges instead of doing maybe what you thought you were going to do. But with the figures coming for, you can see this playset. Got that Battle of Geonosis playset already. Picked that up early last year in an auction, and thrilled. I was wanting to build out that scene in Attack of the Clones, and I've got a number of the things for it. Picked up a lot of figures and that for that, and there's a lot coming out. So I want to do that. I don't know if I'll get that done this year. Just kind of depends, I think. And then you can see I've got that's the Sherwood Forest Robin Hood playset I want to do indoor on this other part of this shelf. I've got the bunker back in there. I've got that new Force Ghost set, and I want to build that out. And that's going to be, there's a lot of Ewoks, a lot goes into that, and as I've researched it, I don't have a lot, and it's not superly easily obtained on a budget, so it's going to cost a little bit. So got to do that. So yeah, I'm thinking the cantina, Geonosis, and indoor. So those are 3 pretty aggressive goals with Echo Base and some other things. I do want to upgrade my ice cave. I've already got another idea on that. And this thing is a little ratty and messy in here right now, but I found some 3D files to really dress up the carbon freeze chamber. So I'm thinking I need to do some more work in here. So I don't know how you guys are, but as soon as I'm done with something, I already have a plan of how, man, if I could redo it, I'm going to do this. So that's on my list as well. And and I've got with my vintage Kenner, I'm going to build a display case. I've got things going on there. I'm restoring some. I've got now boxes of old, just beat up, broke down, wrecked vintage Kenner playsets, vehicles, beasts, and that. And I love fixing stuff, and I love collecting enough pieces and parts to make something great. So I have that. I just bought an ATTE, and won't stand. Electronics don't work. It's got some issues. Man, I'm excited. I've got these Clone Wars vehicles. The ARC 170's back there buried. I've got the Juggernaut turbo tank, and I've got the new gunship coming from the HasLab. So that's on my mind as well. And as I've gotten into building, creating some custom figures and that, I'm excited for that. So yeah, looking into 26, I've got some pretty aggressive goals. I've got plenty of Kenner stuff to acquire. I love that stuff. I love the modern stuff, and who knows what's coming around the bend. Hasbro did such an awesome job in 25 just looking at some of the figures that I picked up this year, where it's just amazing. And to look through just some of the newer stuff. I've got some of the older stuff up here, but some of the Disney stuff and just the newer things that came out. That Hammerhead, so good. Callus, man. Just to think about what's coming down the pike, it's exciting to me to see that I've got to get the old Legacy Darth Revan backed away in the new version out. I just got him. I'm thankful for that re-release. And the Shadows of the Empire, probably going to pack them away. I've loved having them out this first year. I'd love to see those guys re-released too. That'd be awesome to have that. But yeah, just some great action figures that came out this year. And looking around, I guess there's Crosshair. Yeah, he was awesome too. So yeah, some really good stuff. Phelan Skull, man, maybe one of my all-time favorite dudes. Ray Stevenson. I'm just sad that he's not with us anymore. But excited for Ahsoka Season 2 coming up. But yeah, it was a good year in collecting. And I think Hasbro is poised to have another good year of producing some really, really awesome stuff. So I'm excited about that. And so I guess as I close in this year in review, I've had such a good year, and I hope that, you watching some of these videos that as I've curated and documented the process, that it's been a help to you. I hope that that I've stirred up some ideas and give you some confidence that you can go and build dioramas, do some collections, and just do some cool stuff. Because until we try and start to research and to try techniques, and man, a lot of times we'll do it and we'll fail and we'll see a better way to do things. But go do some things in 26 that you can be proud of. And I appreciate, when I started my channel, I didn't know exactly where this was going to go. I kind of knew what I liked to do, and I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but I had to do some experimenting with that. And now, as I've got into this, it's pretty clear to me where my role is in the YouTube world and helping in the collecting community, as I build dioramas and share techniques and ideas and customizations and restorations and that. So that's where I'm going to focus on, because I really like this part. And this is my work office. I love when people come in here, I get one of two reactions. One, they're just floored, like, wow. And they want to stop and talk for 20 or 30 minutes about Star Wars, which I love that. And the second reaction is, what in the world is wrong with this guy? And I love that reaction too. It's equally as entertaining to me as the first one. So man, it's just like, I love having this stuff in this space. It just really makes my day go good. So, and I just want to encourage you, as you go into 2026, just remember, we're not guaranteed another year, another day, another month, another week, or anything. So make the most of the time you got. Go do some cool stuff. Share it. Encourage someone else. Don't be the negative people out there in the community that just want to hate on everybody else's stuff. No, be an encouragement. If you have some constructive criticism, get that, but be cool about it, man. Don't just like tear people down because it's not, you disagree, or it's not maybe how you would have done it. Yeah, just let's stay positive. Let's let people collect what they want. Let's inspire them to do great things. And I know a lot of what you see in here, those ideas were birthed from me watching YouTube collection videos and diorama creation videos, and then just other stuff that I maybe dreamed up. But a lot of that came from the community that were documenting the process of what they did. So I'm looking forward to next year. I hope you are too. Go collect, do some cool stuff, and I'll keep keep creating content that hopefully propels our community into doing some awesome things. So thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, I've been amazed at how many subscribers I've been able to get just starting, a few months back. And subscribe. You're going to be notified then of updates and things that come up on my channel. And if you enjoy dioramas and Star Wars and collecting and creating that, I think you're going to enjoy this. So like and subscribe, share it. Maybe there's some friends or other collectors that would benefit from this too. And if there's ever anything that you would be interested in me sharing more, expanding more on, let me know in the comments. I did have somebody on a Facebook, one of my social media sites that I was on, ask about, I'd wired up the sail barge with LED lights, and I just assumed that everybody knows how to do this stuff. And I used to teach electronics in the college, the technical school in the college, and it's easy and it's like second nature to me. But I'm realizing not everybody knows how to do that stuff, so I'm going to ramp that up. When I do the cantina, I'm going to show some tutorials on LEDs, some tips and tricks and that. And if there's anything that you're like, hey, I'd like to know, like on building a diorama or foam or paint or customization on figures, or how's that work, ask in the comments. There's no bad questions. If I can't help you, I can hopefully maybe someone else that's paying attention can help you, or I can steer you toward maybe a YouTube channel that can help you. So again, like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless you all. This is Mando Mitchy. I'm signing off.